We pack up and leave, get into the car, and I suppose he thought home meant to his house. Oh, he gonna get chained to a radiator?
Now who's doing is that?
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we are jumping back into some of these top posts of all time from r/NeckbeardStories. As per usual, should be quite a ride, so let's hop into it. How a date went from 0 to 100 real fast. Oh, I love failed dates, you know. I met this guy on Tinder, and his profile seemed innocent enough. Said he liked nature, hiking, games, TV shows, and movies. You know, things like that. Yeah, right, OP, like people actually go hiking. His pictures were pretty normal as well, and he looked like a nice, fun guy. He was tall, a little lanky, had long, light brown hair, and a beard. Nothing crazy. We talked for about a month, seemed to have a lot in common, and decided to finally meet up for a date. So far, so good. He's from the internet. How often do you encounter crazy people on the internet? I tell him I'll wait outside a restaurant to make it easier, since the parking lot to my complex is just a bitch to get into. I'm waiting and waiting, and I hear his voice next to me chime in. Your hair is as beautiful as the sunset. Oh, man. He practiced that in the mirror. It doesn't register to me that those words were directed at me until I turn my head and see him standing there. Now, he looked pretty similar to his pictures, but somehow more scraggly, unkempt. More as though he had been blown through a tornado. Yeah, just rocked up out of bed, did he? His hair was frizzy and all over the place. His beard was like a sad yard that hadn't had a groundskeeper in years.
Willie hears ya. Willie don't care.
His teeth stained and yellowed, and his eyes the size of dinner plates. His only saving grace was that he didn't stink. Well, thank goodness for small miracles. I stand up and question him, not quite believing what I had heard. Excuse me? And he repeats himself. Your hair is as beautiful as yon sunset, m'lady. My hair at the time was bright frickin' purple. The sunset was, I don't know, orange. I asked if he was colorblind, and he answered, no. I mean, it's not like a direct comparison, I guess. He's probably nervous, that's fine. We'll cut him some slack, okay? He's probably not stupid at all. He just gets like this sometimes. See? I'm totally fair and balanced. So he leads me to his car. All the while, he's complimenting me up and down. Yeah, that's a red flag. I'm flattered, really, but, calm your tits. So we get in, and he just let out the gnarliest burp I think I've ever heard. Ew. Excuse me. I just burp when I get nervous. See, he paired it up with a little bit of honesty. It's probably gonna be fine. We're strapped into the ride now. Let's just see how it goes. OP says, I excused the burp and don't let it bother me. I asked him, where are we going? And he ends up taking me to a coffee shop. All right, coffee, cool, I can deal with that. Yeah, nice cheap non-committal first date. I'll sign off on that as well. Heading towards the shop, I'm quickly regretting my decision and tell him that I can't be out late as I got work in the morning. He says, he understands, and we head inside, grab a seat, grab some coffee, and sit down. Now it starts getting really weird, and I start questioning why I didn't just up and walk away. Okay, here it comes. Here's where the bottom drops out. You ready? He starts telling me how he wishes I didn't shave. All the while burping after nearly every sentence that comes out of his mouth. Ugh. He describes how he likes an unkempt puss and hairy legs and armpits. Yeah, that got me real good. I just stare, and I have no idea how to reply. How about, holy crap, I just sat down.
Who the starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
This is a first date, sir. You haven't gotten the job quite yet. Can we pretend to be a normal human being for at least an hour or so? This is what happens with the cum brains. I can't even be that surprised. This is the guy that'll tell you that porn is healthy for your brain. Anyway, I look around wondering what the hell people around us might be thinking. And I try and change the subject. He asks if he can hold my hands. And then he grabs them and says, if he stares into my eyes, he'll be able to really know me. And that he can already tell that we're soulmates just from the moment he laid his eyes on me. Didn't wait for consent to grab her hand. Love bombing her right out the gate. Making every single conversation sexual. Yeah, that's 3 red flags. We're good to go. Up and out. I excused him for the excusable things, but I can't excuse his entire being. Your entire way of life is anathema to me, sir. And then you throw the coffee in his face. You don't have to throw the coffee in his face, but it might be funnier if you did. So he proceeds to just stare at me, unblinking for what felt like an eternity. I crack a very nervous laugh, pull my shaking hands away, and ask him exactly why he believes that. He rambles on about his beliefs, and to be honest, I can't remember anything he told me. Probably not worth remembering. I had completely tuned him out after the hairy vag and cosmic soulmate comments. I guess the really unfortunate part about this whole date is like she's the one that got picked up. But at a certain point, call a cab, call an Uber, whatever you do. Waiting around is not going to turn out well. I tell him that I'm finished and ready to go home now. We had arranged earlier that he would drop me off at the restaurant again after the date. That's good OPSEC. We pack up and leave, get into the car, and I suppose he thought home meant to his house. Oh, he gonna get chained to a radiator?
Get this goddamn chain off me!
Look, girl.
We actually live very close to each other, unbeknownst to him, so I didn't realize he was heading the wrong way until the last second. I blurt out, wait, where are we going? And he replies, a date must end with a home-cooked meal. Oh, you think that's gonna be the clincher, do you? No, dude, it doesn't. I again tell him that I need to leave early, I have work, blah, 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 and he pleads with me to just let him cook dinner and treat me like a princess, that I deserve it for being so wonderful, and that it won't take but an hour. What, you got some Kraft mac and cheese? Nah, I'm good, man. How can you cook a dinner worth eating in under an hour and eat it? Nah. He's gonna chop OP up, watch.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
At this point, I give up. It's free food, whatever. You're gonna risk getting murdered over a bowl of Kraft mac and cheese? Not a sponsor. And I do have a weapon in my bag if he pulls anything. Not a risk worth taking, is what I'd say. But okay, I guess. You really want to see how this ride ends. OP says we head inside his house, and I am so thankful that my house was within walking distance. He introduces me to his cat, who becomes my saving grace throughout the night, and begins cooking and singing. Oh, maybe he was talking about the cat when he's talking about Harry. Never mind. I'm not making excuses for this dude. I know what you meant, and you're disgusting. Apparently, this guy is a master rapper and a master debater. He blares rap music and starts singing along to it as he cooks, and I am holding on to this cat for dear life. I probably got a lot of sympathy for the cat. You live every day like this, bro? He's like, yeah, it's fucked up. What am I gonna do? I guess my final judgment on whether that's cool or not to rap is what music are you rapping to? Is it Drake? Lame as hell, dude. I listened to it, but I can admit it's lame as hell. Is it A Tribe Called Quest? Oh my god, top tier. Now we might actually have a thing to talk about if you are worth talking to. OP says, I find little things to do, like feed his cat dinner, or brush his cat, or play with his cat. Just leave, dude. Why? As I'm cleaning up after feeding the cat, the dude again asks if I would stop shaving for him. Oh my god. Just when we managed to almost check out of this reality. That would make him the happiest man in the world. And that I would like it more if I stopped shaving. Did you not pick up the signs earlier that this conversation is very not okay? My guess is he hasn't interacted with anyone except that cat in quite a little while. I laugh awkwardly again, and I tell him, no, I kind of like having smooth legs and armpits and such. He sighs, tells me, I don't know what I'm missing, and that I'm conforming too much to what society wants women to be and feel. He shrugs and then holds his hands out to me and asks for a dance. What a non sequitur. You think that's gonna save this? I'm sorry I keep talking about wanting to see your hairy puss. Maybe we could dance to some 90s gangster rap. Yeah, I don't think this is getting any better. OP says, I'm not sure what he saw, but the look on my face was pure confusion. How the hell was he expecting me to dance to the music he was listening to? And especially after a comment like that. I shake my head and motion to the cat, who I quickly scoop up in my arms and say, I already have a partner, and start dancing with the cat. God, dude. Why are we trying to salvage this? Even a culinary feast would not be worth all this heartache, and really all he's gonna do is bring you a cup of noodles, you know? Eventually dinner is ready, he sets everything up, and we eat while watching Rick and Morty. Yeah, that's on brand. At least you didn't have to interact, I guess. I try and enjoy the show until he scoots unreasonably close to me and rests his head on my shoulder. Feminine trait, beta male. I can't move any further away from him or I'll fall off the couch or hit the wall, so I just ignore it and eat. Maybe stab him accidentally with your fork right in the face. I eat fast, really fast. He starts whispering how he'd be the best lover. He'd make me quake with pleasure, and he knows all the weak points in a woman. Yeah, it's not exactly like a boss fight, is it? You got a few more skills to learn before you're ready to take this on, trust me. At this point, I want to vomit. I'm just shocked you're in his house, honestly. I get up and say, I gotta go now, and start to leave. He interrupts me and says, he has a gift for me, and he wants me to read it for the next time we see each other. When he comes back, he has a book on Kama Sutra and the female orgasm. Oh my god, kill me now. He says, I've studied this book front to back just for you, and I know I can pleasure you. This ain't about book learning, son. This is all street smarts, kid. And let me tell you this, it starts with the mental stimulation, and so far, not feeling nothing. Read this, and you'll know how to truly pleasure yourself, too. Oh my god. Yeah, I know you don't have any autonomy. You need this book to learn what you like. Pick out some of your favorite positions in it, and we can do them the next time we meet. Yeah, surefire way to lock that second date down, buddy. I love to hate it. I visually shudder, and I tell him, no thanks, I'm not interested, and that the likelihood of us having a second date is very slim. I say all this as nicely as I can because I really don't feel like getting murdered. Could have fooled me. I hand him back the book, but he's adamant and refuses to let me give it back, so I take it. Just leave it in front of his door. Hey everybody, your neighbor's a creep. Once I get home, I'm bombarded by text about how I'm the one for him, about how the date was so amazing, and how he wants to marry me and be his queen and lover and everything under the sun. Dude, no. Just pack it in. You didn't pick up the vibes on the date, or you think you could just love bomb her into having a different opinion? It's over. I'm shocked it got as far as it did, honestly. Time to pack it in, take the L. I reply back with concern over how he could possibly miss my visual cues on how uncomfortable I was, how little I spoke, and the fact that I had told him no at the end of the date. For the next 3 days, he would text demanding that I give him a chance, and that I was the one for him, that he would rock my world, no man compares to him, etc., etc. You are just oozing a lack of confidence. Talk is cheap, that's what they say. OP says no matter how many times I explained myself to him or told him no, he just would not give up. Eventually, I had to block him, and I am so glad that I never gave him my address. Oh, and if you're curious about what I did with the book, my sister saw it, shrieked, and threw it in the trash. Your sister's not a very sex-positive person? That's cool, me either. I think we need more people to join that counterculture, honestly. What I will say is this was disaster narrowly avoided. I don't know why the hell you would agree to go to his house. For free food? You willing to die over a sandwich? No, man. I got food at home. I'm all right. So while OP is a little bit of a maniac, the guy that she dated was clearly much more of a maniac. If you're just now meeting this person, going to get a coffee, and they start talking about you not shaving, or really anything even tangentially related to those areas and parts of the body, it's time to pack it in. It's time to go. I am glad you escaped, but just, I don't know, man, be careful. Be way more careful. All right, let's get into our next story. Strip club neckbeard. Probably a pretty common occurrence, all things considered. So, I'm one of those gals who pulls out their honka-donkers for money. Weird flex, but okay. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty hard job, and we get all sorts of people, though, who are less than savory. That's why you should work at a gentleman's club, where they only allow in gentlemen. Last night, however, we had the ultimate neckbeard come through, who not only made my life difficult, but also managed to piss off every single person in the club by being a loud, obnoxious a-hole. This neckbeard fellow truly had everything going for him. Very overweight, sweaty, fedora adorned. You're not allowed to wear a hat in our club, but he refused to take it off multiple times. He was very touchy with the girls, which is a no-no. He had a gross orange pube beard and was incredibly loud and boisterous. Yeah, get a stack of $20 bills and he feels like a big man. He started off okay, hanging out with a friend and drinking quietly. See, drinking, that's where they get you. I went over to approach this man that we'll call stingy because, hint, hint, he refused to spend money on the girls, and I did my sales pitch. Basically, I smile a lot, say hello, and offer them either a private dance or sell them what are essentially raffle tickets and an opportunity to win a lap dance. I would never enter that raffle. Why won't you just pay for it?
Shut up and take my money!
And if you're gonna pay for it, don't do a private dance. Make her do a table dance so everyone can enjoy. This neckbeard scoffed at me and said, I don't need to spend money to see vag. I get enough of it on my own. Yeah, dirty pictures on the internet doesn't count there, fella. I shook this off as just another a-hole and went on my way. Throughout the night, however, Stingy was increasingly rude to every girl who would talk to him and refused to spend a single red cent on anyone but himself and the copious amounts of alcohol and food that he was demolishing. Yeah, maybe the titty bar ain't the place for you, man. Maybe you go on down to TGI Fridays. They seem to have more of what you'd be interested in. At one point, he grabbed me, held me under a sweaty armpit, and told me that I was doing a crap job, and a pretty girl like me would be better off at home with a boyfriend to look after her. He really trying to turn a hoe into a housewife right now. Might be an incendiary take, but I'll just say ill-advised. Luckily, OP seems to have a good head on her shoulders, for the most part. She ain't gonna fall for all this. She's heard it before. From better people than this. Nearly crying from the stench of his armpit, I managed to wrestle myself free and escape, all the while he was yelling after me that if I ever wanted some real dog, we could always go into the bathrooms. Gross. He was the hot topic of conversation all night, as furious dancers would complain in the changing rooms about how he had told them they should all go get real jobs, or that they should be lucky he was even talking to them, or that they should wear nicer lingerie because apparently he was an expert on what makes a woman look good. Really, all this is a neckbeard that went to a pickup artist seminar and he's like, negging, huh? I know where I can find some girls that will initiate contact with me because I'm too scared to initiate contact with them. And then he walks into a gentleman's club and becomes quite the ungentleman. How uncouth! As the night went on and he got more and more intoxicated, he started getting more aggressive. We have stage shows every couple of hours, and as the girls would be up there performing, he would come slam his fists on the stage and start yelling. That's not how you do it. You gotta go bring a dollar bill and put it on your nose. She picks it up with her vagine, and then you have to suffer with herpes for the rest of your life. He would do this over and over again, drawing attention to himself and ruining the atmosphere for everyone else. What the hell kind of atmosphere is there? Seedy, I guess, in the most literal definition of the word.
Stinks like sex in here.
Finally, 3 a.m. rolled around, and guess who was still here? That's right, Stingy. Us girls were leaving, most of us in pajamas or casual clothes, and he was still sitting at the table, yelling and whistling at us as we walked past. He finally got kicked out when he told the managers that they were, quote, fucking lame, for closing at 3:30 in the morning. For somebody who talks about having a real job, it sure don't seem like he has a real job. Of course, he couldn't leave without one more swipe at my ass, which he missed and then scowled as I skipped down the steps and disappeared, leaving him wondering why the hell I wouldn't let a fine man like him touch my bum, when obviously he was the best thing to walk into that place in such a long time. I honestly can deal with a lot of crap at my job, but it's horror stories like this man that make it hard to stick it out. Honestly, if that's the worst adversity that you encounter at the job, then I don't really know if we have all that much to complain about. I mean, the guy's disgusting, okay? But I tend to think that the majority of people that would even walk in there are disgusting. I do wonder how he didn't get kicked out if he was being handsy, if that's a no-no. I guess because he was buying plenty of alcohol and the club owner's just like, it's good profit margin, you know? Meanwhile, none of the girls are getting paid, which I would be frustrated with too. He's just a drunken pig who enjoys the feeling of secret power. He doesn't get to live like this anywhere else in his life, quite clearly. And while I do feel sort of bad for OP, again, it's like the name of the game, dude. It's essentially like dealing with Karens in customer service, except, you know, Karen probably won't assault you. I hope this club has bouncers, and if they did, then you should have bounced him. Big boy like that, he probably bounced pretty good. Anyways, let's get another story in here, see what we got. Neckbeard tried to groom my daughter. God, I know I'm gonna hate this one already. This is going to be very long. It is very fresh on my mind due to it being so recent. Okay, so my daughter's one of those versatile personalities that can and does fit into any damn crowd that she so chooses. She often spends her time in the nerdy crowd, with hobbies like D&D, magic, anime and manga, gaming, coding, sciences, cosplay, etc. But she's not limited to those things. She also happens to be very, very pretty. Like some of those sickos' dreams type of pretty. Think a cross between a runway model and a living anime girl with no need to even try. I mean, you might be overselling it a bit, but it is your daughter, so good for you. I'm not sharing those facts to talk her up or brag. I'm making the points clear to explain just how aware and prepared for the dangers that are out there we are and have always been. We are not dumb as to what types she might attract. She has, since early on, been schooled of the threats and been trained to defend herself as need be. So we caught it early, right? This is just a failed grooming attempt? That's what I'm hoping for. She is not a noob with the internet or its communities. We let her explore her interests while remaining hyper-vigilant and with an open line of communication because, let's face it, there are sickos out there, or into lolly and so forth, that just drool over girls like her. I do vomit in my mouth a little when I have to say that. Yes, we know of them. It's a pretty big problem in the Philippines too, honestly. But it doesn't matter where you're from. You all go against the fucking wall. Yes, indeed. Sickos. Like this one. With his neckbeard, terrible and forceful manipulation tactics, and who clearly sits at his PC 24/7. And who talks about how he doesn't shower often because of his anxiety and depression. To be fair, I feel you on that last part, but that doesn't mean you have to make it somebody else's problem, right? So my daughter has a Discord server. Ah, there's your problem. Yes, I'm in it. Yes, my presence is known. I'm active and I keep an eye out. It's about like any server with D&D campaigns channels, various game channels, VR chat, movie nights, etc. And this particular guy was brought in by a mutual friend and took his place as their D&D DM for multiple campaigns. Nobody volunteers to be the DM forever. What kind of trap is this? He caught concern from not just me, but at least a couple of friends in her server, because he would do things like say, me and daughter are doing this and that, y'all are welcome to join, and would give updates on her and answer questions for her. She's laying down, she's cleaning up, and she'll be back soon. She says this. Just stuff that came off odd. Like he had established a close relationship with her in comparison to others. And he was buying her games. A lot of games. Not even games that she had asked for. She'd just mention a game in passing conversations with friends, and moments later, he would buy them. Hey, we're doing this and that, you're welcome to join, doesn't seem like a red flag to me. Answering questions on her behalf, yeah, we're getting there, that's like a rose-colored flag. But then showering her with gifts, that's some bad juju right there. I also started noticing a change in her demeanor when messaging while we were out and about, along with it being nearly constant. Uh-oh, she is getting sucked into the trap. She was not enjoying the messaging. She seemed exhausted from it, and almost like it was an obligation forced on her. I could see it. I pointed it out and told her that it's okay to take a break. Yeah, they told me the same thing. I started nudging her and planting seeds in her ear in what I felt was happening. I knew that she'd come to me soon enough. We talk about everything. Very rarely do I need to step in before she comes to me about something. That's good. Open, honest relationship, positive parental figures. That's why your daughter's a functional human being. Congratulations! We really do got to do something about that spine, though. It's all noodle-like. It's supposed to be more of a rigid structure. And soon, she did start that conversation. She came to me telling me that she knew something was wrong with what this guy was doing, and that it made her uncomfortable, but she didn't want to make any rash judgments and turn out to be wrong, as well as admitting the fact that she couldn't quite put her finger on what was wrong exactly. Have we addressed this with him at all? Maybe all he needs is a frank conversation. In my idealistic world where everything works out like it should, he'd probably freak out. Daughter was worried about how mutual friends might react. Who cares? And he was their DM, and he was a really good one, I guess. I said, well, if it makes you uncomfortable, then you need to do something, and you shouldn't feel bad about doing it. And then I just let her talk. Yeah, don't be a people pleaser. It's the worst way to go through life. She told me all about how this guy seemed to guilt her into always being around to talk him through his anxiety, which she had started to question the validity of. She suffers from crippling anxiety that actually runs in our family. Is that genetic or is that cultural? She started to notice patterns and a convenience in timing where she felt like he almost just used it as an in. He always seemed to need her around, like every waking hour. I considered while she was talking, okay, maybe he's a little clingy and needs some boundaries to be established. Good job, OP, that's where I would start too. Then she tells me about how far he goes with it. She had already told him that she's not a professional and that he should seek professional guidance, and tried to coax him into it, assuring him that there's nothing wrong with getting help. Which is true. And if you're not going to do it for yourself, then do it for me, because I don't want to be saddled with your bullshit neither. Now, it is kind of what I do for the YouTube videos and stuff, but as soon as the recording, the premiere's over, I let it go. It's fine. Can't take anything too seriously in this old life. She had already told this man that he was making her uncomfortable and needed to space himself away from her, and she had already also temporarily blocked him once before. Why was it temporary? Like, you have so many settings on Discord. Kick him from the server. Take control of your own life. But I guess it's harder as a kid. At this point, I stopped to reassure her that she is very smart and reasonable. If she thinks that something is up, well, something is probably up, and I have her back on it. I also see the same red flags that she does. Her face lit up, and you could see the tension lift. Then she launched into so many more details that just got worse and worse. The demanding of all of her time and energy got obsessive. She would have to have an open line of communication with him at all times, even when we went out for family stuff, and he would guilt the hell out of her if she didn't. I don't think this guy realizes that the Discord kitten meme is just a meme, dude. The guilt trip wouldn't work on me neither. I'd be like, whatever, yeah, I'm guilty. I pray to Jesus for forgiveness. This guy wanted every detail on her schedule, to the point that he asked her for her sleep schedule. She told him no, and that it made her uncomfortable, and to stop. He backpedaled and said he just wanted to know so he didn't bother her if he had an anxiety or sewer slide attack if she was sleeping. Oh yes, it's definitely for my convenience and not yours. What, are you stupid or something? Well, the kid ain't stupid, because she still said no. Told ya, smart girl. But the thing was, he still continued to try in sneakier ways. He would message her at various times of the night, "Let me know when you head to bed so I don't bother you." And in the morning, "Let me know when you get up. I need someone to talk to. It's bad." Call the suicide hotline, bro. I'm checking out. This didn't start until after the instance where he asked for her sleep schedule. He would also do this with various other things involved in her schedule. He would then try to get more personal details on topics, really pushing it. And yes, she admitted that there were times when she just barely towed the line of appropriate things, talking about him being dominant and stuff. Yeah, he's a real internet tough guy. Tell you what, tough guy. Let's see how tough you are when I knock on your door with a fucking lead pipe. I stopped to ask her how old he is. Turns out he is 23. My daughter is 16. God, he's hateable. Hanging out in the high school kids' Discord. What a degenerate creep. This is the point where I told her that I understood her not wanting to seem irrational, but it sounds like he might be a groomer. I mean, it's all but confirmed at this point, but let her come to the conclusion. That's okay. The way he demands so much from her, making her feel obligated and trying to dominate her time and have a say in things that he really should have no say in. She said the thought had crossed her mind, but he had a way of scrambling it up that made it more difficult to see while it was going on. As with most things in life, this is the benefit of hindsight. It became more clear now that she had talked about it. She told me more details about him buying her so many games. She said at first she thought he was just grateful to have some friends because he'd buy them for everybody. But then she realized that he was only buying games that she was interested in for everyone. And it also seemed like he would intentionally interrupt her time with her other friends. Yeah, just really possessive over this person that you don't even know. Gross. There were so many other red flags, but those were the top ones that set off alarm bells in my head. And that he had also obviously lied about his profession to try to appeal to her. What did he say his profession was? I think I missed that. Professional DM? Professional Dom? I don't know what's happening here. We discussed this in depth for over an hour. It was mostly just me reassuring her and pointing out why things probably seemed odd for her to come to the conclusion for herself. As big parenting strats, me and OP, we on the same wavelength. I reminded her that her safety and well-being comes before what anyone else thinks, and that they could always find a new, apparently very good and experienced DM. I mean, that seems like a hard thing, but not really when you got payola, you know? I would pay actual money to keep my daughter away from this freak. She decided not to wait and to do it right away. Messaged him with me monitoring and having her back. And his reaction was insane. I don't have any other friends. I removed everyone else. You're my only friend. She responded with how she knew that was a lie. He was in VC on her server with one right then and there. She added that him removing all of his friends wouldn't be her doing anyways. She then told him that he needs to seek out a professional, not a freaking 16-year-old. Laying down the law. You love to see it. His spine grew in right quick. One talk with mom and she's like, "Oh, I know what I must do. I will strike him down." She told him directly that it seemed too much like he was trying to groom her, and he claimed to not know what grooming was, which kind of further proves it in my mind. Oh yeah, that's just deflection. Who lives on this earth without knowing about the dangers of that? Daughter said, "I'm sorry. I hope you get the help you need, but this is not appropriate. It's toxic and seems predatory. I'm blocking you for good." And he went off. That's fine, only takes 2 seconds to mash the block button. Bye! He started spamming her and trying to call so much that she couldn't get to the block button. Well, that's when you log off, you come back 2 hours later and block him instantly. Don't read the things he said in that 2-hour span. Don't look at how many voice calls. Invest no more energy than you already have. Daughter had to turn her phone off for a few minutes, and when she turned it back on, the DMs were just insane. Sewer slide threats and guilt-tripping galore. If I remember correctly, it was a lot of, "Just answer the call! Just talk to me, please! I need you! Just talk to me on call for a few minutes!" Bro, you are pathetic. Pull your life together. Eventually, she did successfully block him. She then messaged the mutual friend that he was in the voice chat with to apologize for interrupting them. He told her not to worry about it. What do you know? The guy seemed fine and dandy in the VC and following DMs with him, all while messaging this bullcrap to her. That is really creepy, having a text freak out, but in the voice chat, you're just like, yeah, I'm chilling, bro. Then the guy posted in a friend's server about how everything was so wrong and he should just end it. Cycling through craziness. Within minutes, he changed his tune from threats to, screw it, I worked hard on my anger management issues. I'll just go back to how I was before I fixed them. F you. Yeah, that'll show me. What? At this point, other people were asking what was going on, one even insinuating that my daughter had done something wrong. This is her server, right? We can start kicking people, right? Alternatively, just leave the server, start a little group chat with the people you actually like, and dip. This is when the friend who was in VC with the creep dropped a bombshell. 15-year-old boy, who we had never discussed this situation with. He had only really sat on the sidelines in the server, but he stood up for daughter and said, yeah, that dude was a groomer. Yes, even without us saying anything to him, he busted out right then and there. Turns out that his mom is a therapist and also has him well trained. He recognized the red flags and had actually been confronting the guy privately to back the hell off. It is a feel-good story, but I'm sure that creep is still out there on Discord somewhere. All of a sudden, friends were rallying around my daughter. Fair weather friends, bunch of fake bitches. They compared all the odd things they noticed and even apologized for not stepping in sooner for her. Yeah, whatever. Make a note of all of this, okay? The friend who owned the server blocked him along with other mutual friends. My daughter had tears of relief and gratitude in her eyes, and so did I, knowing that she had friends like that. I can't even properly describe how beautiful it was. If you say so. I feel vindictive for the friends who didn't bother to save me until after I had saved myself. But I'm sort of a vindictive person, so I don't know. The groomer immediately changed his tag, but they have their hands on his new one and they're not remaining silent about him. My personal friends are looking into getting a specific location on him, not to dox him or anything, but to figure out if he's really in the military and notify them of his actions and possibly get him separated because he is a danger to himself and others. Yep, if you're gonna hurt yourself, that's a medical discharge. But I guarantee he's not in the military. He lied about that to make your daughter think he was a cool army guy. Then again, he's got a lot of disposable income. Maybe he is in the military. He's just one of those fat guys that manages to pass their PT tests somehow. Now, before anyone says anything, let me be clear. I have seen the messages, etc. between him and my daughter. No, she never led him on. No, they were not in a relationship. No, she never sent him anything inappropriate. Yes, he tried to slyly sneak in some talk with her about fantasies, but we never saw what they were because she would cut him off and refuse to discuss anything of that sort with him. Good, smart girl. Yeah, we got them receipts. This guy is just a really messed up 23-year-old neckbeard who laid all of this on a 16-year-old girl. That is not normal. Well, I mean, yeah, all of us regular humans realize that, but I still don't know if that guy realizes that. Discord really does bring all the freaks out, doesn't it? Hey, join the ReddX Discord, by the way. Discord.gg/ReddX. Thanks so much. It's no wonder he spazzed out so badly. My daughter is just shy of legal age. That guy can sit and spin on his disgusting little fantasies that he never got to discuss. And he will. My daughter's doing just fantastic for those wanting to know. She has an abundance of joy and gratitude for her friends and her mother for not freaking out and just having her back as she made the right decision for herself. It is a happy ending, but you just know there's going to be a sequel. I have made it clear how proud I am of her for coming out with this, and she says, "Mom, I'm not mentally developed enough for this stuff and had trouble understanding it. Even when I am, I'll probably still need to come to you. I'm not dumb. I know this. That is excessively mature for 16. I thought I knew everything at 16. But it's that old Dunning-Kruger effect, where the idiots are the most self-assured and the smart people are the ones who realize how much they don't know. So yes, to wrap it all up, Neckbeard did not win at all. At least not this battle, but we're still out there fighting the war for you, OP. Long, I know, sorry, but I can't stress enough to people to not only watch out for your kids, but to teach them to watch out for themselves and keep an open, understanding line of communication. Let them come to you, if at all possible. And if you do have to step in, discuss it in detail with them and let them talk and help make the decisions with your guidance toward the right course of action. Essentially what we're doing already with my daughter, but yes, say it again, louder for the people in the back. TLDR, my daughter and I, along with her online friends, called out and stuck it to an online neckbeard predator / groomer. I mean, you did tell him some harsh truths, and I gotta be grateful for that, but the war is never over. War never changes. He crept into another Discord. I hope that you get the address and whatnot, maybe get him discharged, but something tells me he's living off the government dole in Mama's basement. How else would he have time to check on her 24/7? Military? That's like 12-hour days, bro. It's not gonna happen. So yes, I guess we got a little bit of justice, but not quite enough for my taste on this one. I am, however, supremely happy that your daughter is safe and, yes, very smart, perceptive, attentive. You should feel proud that you have raised such an intelligent little girl. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode, friends. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Check out Teespring and Amazon affiliate links in the description. On the end card, I got more Neckbeard top stories of all time. The first one I did, which is Stinkbeard, I do believe. Click on through, different vibe, but you probably enjoy it. At least during the parts where you're not experiencing extreme regret. But anyways, I do appreciate you, friends. Always remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Go ahead and cut them open. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.